Whether buying or selling, you need to have a game plan in place to work with French real estate agents. And yes, you can choose your agent. Whether buying or selling, if you prefer one agent over another for any reason, you have the freedom, legally, to select the agent you want to work with. Like you can choose which boulangerie to go to buy your bread. Just remember, you are not obligated to continue working with the listing agent who initially showed you a particular property. Very important, it's essential for you to work with a bilingual or proficient English-speaking agent when dealing with real estate transactions. Opting for someone from a reputable agency like Leggett or Agence Newton, which often have British expats turned commercial agents, can ensure smoother communication. While these agents' technical and legal expertise may be limited, having someone who can bridge the language barrier is crucial to avoid any misunderstandings. Also, as real estate is all about micro markets, having a local agent is key whether you're buying or selling. For sellers, local agents within a 10-mile radius of your property are especially instrumental for organizing visits promptly and effectively. And on the other hand, buyers need an agent who can provide detailed information beyond just the property itself. So, make sure to choose a local English-speaking agent who can dedicate enough time to understand either your property or your search needs, as they will be the ones representing you on the ground. So, as a foreigner in France, you now understand you have to rely on listing agents to visit the properties you're interested in, but you need to plan ahead and be organized. To begin with, make sure to join all the marketing platforms like Se Loger, Le Bon Coin, Belle Demeure, or Luxe Résidence and sign up for their newsletters. Additionally, visit the websites of reputable local real estate agents in the area you're exploring and subscribe to their newsletters and/or property alerts. By doing so, you'll receive daily updates on all the latest properties available in your desired area directly into your email box. Then, build your database of properties of interest. Start by creating a list of properties that match at least 70% of your must-have criteria. Copy and paste the listing details into a spreadsheet and save property pictures for future reference. If you found a listing on a marketing site like Se Loger, make sure to visit the original listing on the agent's website because you may get more info there. Don't forget to jot down the agent's name and contact information. Keep track of all agents involved for a given property as you go through the listings. As you progress, at minimum every week, reach out to listing agents. Send emails addressed directly to the agents by name. With a bit of luck, each agent will represent more than one property on your list. Send a list of questions, but not too long, because your aim is to have a phone conversation if the agent speaks a bit of English or you a bit of French. This process of interacting with agents should help you zoom in on the agents you would rather work with. Next level up, create a list of properties you wish to visit. About your viewing trip, it's important to plan around the appointments you can schedule in advance. Instead of just showing up and making calls from your hotel room, it's better to confirm all these appointments beforehand, either through phone or email. This way, you can avoid any last-minute surprises where properties become unavailable without any notice from the agent. By the way, if you run into such a situation and the property is listed with multiple agents, don't forget to reach out to the others to see if they have the same information. It's advisable to plan no more than 4 visits per day, with 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. That's because, firstly, there may be unforeseen logistical issues that will disrupt your day, especially in an unfamiliar region, so it's better to be prepared. Secondly, more important, if you visit too many properties at the same day, they will start to blend together and you won't remember much about each specific one. During each visit, make sure to fill in your house visit checklist. Take plenty of pictures and ask plenty of questions. If the agent can't provide a satisfactory answer on the spot, consider following up with them later or just ask another agent. Finally, create a short list of your favorite properties, the ones that really stood out. At this stage, make sure you only fall in love with properties that actually meet all of your criteria. Consider revisiting these properties on the last day of your visit after you've had a good night's sleep to confirm your first impression and ask any remaining or new questions. If needed, take some time to think it over before making a decision. Don't be afraid to risk losing out if the property sells in the meantime. Remember, it's a big decision, so give yourself all the time you need. After selecting a property, it's time to make an offer. Typically, this is done through the listing agent. Keep in mind that said listing agent represents the seller, not you, the buyer. Therefore, it's important to take their opinion and advice with caution. Once your offer is accepted and terms are agreed upon, ensure to document everything promptly and have all parties involved sign off on the key details: identities of seller, buyer, agent, property details, price, conditions, and timeline. This way, you have the essence of a contract in writing. Make sure the listing agent involves a notaire at that point and provides you with his contact information. While the agent may suggest using a specific notaire, you have the option to hire a different, additional one specifically to protect your interests, who might as well be English-speaking too. Ultimately, keep in mind that listing agents should be there to assist and address any queries about the properties they sell at every stage. If not, consider finding a different agent. Some listing agents may request you to sign a bon de visite. That's a single-page, legal-looking form which typically contains the addresses and asking prices for the properties you've visited. Don't hesitate to sign them. By doing so, you simply acknowledge that the agent introduced you to these properties, which is just what happened. This is done to protect the agents from property owners who may try to bypass them and negotiate directly with sellers, thus avoiding paying the agent's commission. But be cautious of those agents who try to mislead you into thinking that you're obligated to use them if you decide to buy that property. It's been repeatedly confirmed by the courts that signing a bon de visite does not create a contractual relationship or obligation to the agent. The agent's right to claim a commission solely depends on the contract signed between them and the seller. Furthermore, the courts have also established that if a seller breaches their contract with the agent is entitled to compensation from the seller, not from you, even if you've agreed, whether knowingly or not, to purchase the property under the terms of this contract you were not part of. You have the freedom to choose who you want to deal with, whether you sign a bon visit or not. Don't let any listing agents convince you otherwise. If you want to organize your search and handle the listing agents effectively, you have a couple of options. One option is to consider hiring a buyer's agent, although they are not common in France yet, apart from in Paris or on the Riviera. They are there somewhere. Also, some listing agents may agree to be your buyer's agent using a specific, different mandat de recherche, which is a contract for search services under French law that establishes that the agent works solely for you. Consider the following points when hiring a search agent. Make sure they are based in France, speak French, and have a carte professionnelle. Find out if the agent visits properties on your behalf and provides detailed reports with photos and analysis. If they don't charge a fee, that's a bit worrisome. Inquire about their sharing arrangements with agencies in their region and whether they search for private sales as well. Ask if they can assist you in financing. Recommend reliable lawyers, financial experts, or structural surveyors. In other words, ensure they support you until you have the keys to your new home. So, okay, maybe you're not house hunting. Rather, you've got to sell your holiday or family home in France, or you're helping a family member or a friend sell theirs. First, you should obtain 3 or 4 valuations, avis de valeur, from local agents, explaining that you need it for estate planning purposes or tax reasons, but without mentioning that it is your intention to sell. This will give you an idea of the average opinion on the bid-ask spread. Next, you will need to consider the time frame. If you're in a hurry to sell, set your asking price at the lower end of the spread, the lowest valuation, and aim to sell within 6 to 8 months max. If you're not in a rush, go for the higher end of the spread and be ready to wait. About valuations, keep in mind that notaires are not experts in property valuation. They focus on paperwork and they don't physically inspect properties, ever. And avoid seeking out an expert immobilier as well for assistance. It's simply not worth it. Experts typically focus on legal matters and court cases. Any report they provide will not help you in any way in attracting potential buyers, but it will certainly cost you 2,000 euros or more. As already mentioned, it's crucial to have a local agent on board, as the visits are really important, and only those agents within a 10-mile radius can efficiently arrange them to meet the expectations of potential buyers. Moreover, you should really get an English-speaking agent who can be dedicated and have ample time to thoroughly understand the property. After all, they will be the ones conducting the sales process firsthand. To make a selection of agent, that is, I recommend the following approach. Start by searching for candidates online, including those who have provided a valuation, then have a phone conversation with each of them. Once you've narrowed down your options, you should really come down and personally meet with the 2 or 3 shortlisted candidates. This way, you can make a more informed decision. It's important to pick the most competent agent, obviously, and you usually cannot do that simply by relying on remote communication. In terms of contract, I suggest initially signing an exclusive representation agreement, mandat exclusif, which can be downgraded to a non-exclusive contract after 3 months if there's not been noteworthy progress, such as generating promising leads. Once you have chosen an agent, ask them to provide regular updates every 2 weeks, for example, preferably through phone calls rather than emails. If there has not been any progress within 3 to 4 months, it may be necessary to revisit the price. Remember, simplicity is key. Unless the market has died, which is rare, lack of movement in terms of calls, visits, or offers always indicates that the price is too high. Don't fall for the misconception that foreigners will get you the best price. It's not true, and it's outdated thinking from the 1990s. Nowadays, potential buyers search for properties online, compare prices, analyze market trends. They also consider factors like how long a property's been on the market and how many agencies are offering it. Foreigners, just like locals, are smart and resourceful. They have access to the same information through platforms like Google. So, don't believe that international networks have a better chance of finding you a buyer than local agents. In fact, many of those networks rely on partnerships with local agents to source their listings.